So just the first two topics we have covered. Are you having any questions? Jocelyn, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So let me just do a quick introduction to each other. Hi, Sriram.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So this program, we have Jocelyn, who has just joined us. She is starting the same program as you. Okay. Jocelyn, this is Sriram. He is in. He attended the last week's session, and he is in New York. He's a student. So just wanted to introduce you to each other. Okay. Sriram, I just started a little early here
Okay.
to bring it to the point where you are at as well. Okay.
Okay.
So just that's where we are at the moment. Okay.
Okay.
So there might be a slight overlap. So let's keep moving. So Python has what's called interactive development environment called IDE. So we have a Jupyter notebook. This is one of the company called Jupyter, and what it's called is a notebook, which allows you to work directly without installing any software. It's like it's a cloud environment where you don't need to install anything. A virtual machine is available, and you can directly write programs, Python programs on that, like a notepad. Okay, here it's called a notebook because it has certain chapter-wise orientation to it. You have what's called IPYNB file, interactive Python notebook. Okay, this is given a file name, and there is a cell called the code cell, and you have a text cell, which is called a markdown. So here it's an example. If you see, there is some program written there, and when you run it, you click on this arrow and it will just give you the output. Now what's happening is this is a notebook. Okay, a notebook has basically a code cell and a text cell, and you don't bother about anything about installing the software. Everything is readily available behind the scenes. The Python software is running in a cloud environment. That means the Python software is installed in a remote machine, and you are connecting with this notebook to that machine. Okay, and without installing, you can straight off run Python program. Very useful for learning the language instead of bothering about installation and all that. Okay, so that's the URL. One thing is this is a Jupyter notebook, and it has certain timeout. If you don't use it, the session would get timed out, and it's a little bit, it will get timed out in about 1.5 minutes of idle time. Otherwise, it's available. So this is a virtual environment. It's one of their tools. Okay. However, yeah, we can look at this definitely, but we have another interactive development environment called Google Colab Notebook. And so the advantage here is it doesn't time out in that short interval, and everything is the same, almost like you have a new file created with a IPYNB extension, and you can see there is a code cell and a text cell. This is called yeah, what you have is a code here, and then when you run it, you get an output. Okay, so works much like a Jupyter notebook, except this is from Google. You need just the Google Gmail login, gives a stable connection, and it's got visual editor with cells for coding to run the program. Same approach. The Python here is running in a remote Google server, and Colab, as it's shortly called, Colab is your interface notebook, gives you a notebook where you can run the program. Don't have to bother about where the software is installed or anything about the software. Okay, ready to go and ready to start learning the program. So the URL in the browser, you would point to this website, collabresearchgoogle.com, and then it's all there. Okay, I will show it to you. Okay. There are other interface development environments. Just let me just go on to a collab. So, so can you get to the IDE? You have a browser URL. Okay, so let me show it here. I'm starting a browser URL, and let me just pick one. Okay, like that. Collab.researchgoogle.com. Yeah, this is, I promise, this is a hands-on session. So there is, you will also have to try it at your end. Okay, so just go open the browser, and I'm pasting. Anytime if you need the code, I'm going to share it in the chat. Okay, so if you just pick up the link from the chat, copy it, put it to the browser URL. Okay, so we go to that. Okay, and watch as I do it. You will see it's loading. Okay, it's asking me to log in. Okay, I'm just logging in. Just give me a moment. Okay, ask for a Gmail ID. They're not logged in at the moment, so it's just asking the login ID. Yeah, you can also try at the same time. Just take the URL. Okay, for me, it just started with a code which I had initially. Okay. So here you can see this is a file name. So in a notebook, the approach is like a notebook. See here, there is an icon on the left. It shows table of contents, right? So you can have various sections of the code, much like chapters of, organized like a chapters of a notebook. Okay, so then each has a text cell and a code cell. So the code cell is what you're seeing on the, so the table of content is there. But when you have to write code, it is in this code cell, and you can see there is a menu on the top. Okay, so the menu on the top allows you to save the program, save this file onto the Google Drive. Okay, whatever you save will go to your Gmail Google Drive, and if you have to download, there is a download option. It will just allow you to bring it to your desktop. Okay, it will just file download will download to your desktop. So I just moved it up. So you have a download option. This file name IPYNB, you cannot read it. It is only readable in the notebook environment or collab environment. Okay, this is a file extension. Download.py is typically Python files. If you write a Python program, the Python file will be in a .py extension in the operating system. Okay, when you save a file, it will be with that extension by default. So since your program here is running in the collab environment, when you say download, it will just download that program to your desktop. Okay, so this is a code cell. and there is a menu here, and okay, there is a connect here. This is just going to show, okay, let me just, it connects to the virtual environment. It's a Google Cloud Compute virtual environment. That means a remote server, okay, which is running Python. Okay, so it's once connected, it shows that this is the server. Okay, yeah. So Python 3 Google Compute Engine is running in some remote machine, probably in the Middle East or somewhere. Okay, and its server configurations like how much memory and the disk and all that. So this is called a Google Compute Engine, meaning a Google server is allocated and it has already got Python version 3 in that. That software is already, Python is installed in that server. From here, we are only using this Colab environment connecting to that server and be able to run this. Okay. So far, any questions you have? Yeah, Sriram? Yeah, hi. Very good morning to you. You are able
Good
to
morning.
follow along?
Yeah, I was able to follow along.
Okay, very good. So you have code here and text here. So code, I'm just going to show you. See, it inserts a code cell. Okay, code inserts a code cell, and you can type your program like that. Okay, so
Yes.
that's how you write Python program right away with the code cell. And here you have a text cell. Now text cell is going to show up like this. I put a hash and say my first program. Okay. So then what happens? Okay, let me just, yeah, my first program. Sorry, this one. Are you able to see this? Sorry. Yeah, my first program. When you put hash, it is going to be appearing like this in a specific font. This is called a markdown. Okay, a markdown cell is simply a text cell. Okay, see, when I clicked outside, my first program is appearing like this. So, and then I can move this up. Sorry. Using these arrows, I can move this above. So now the order in which it was below the new cell has changed. So it has just moved up there. So my first program appears like a chapter of a book. Okay. Here is, I go back to the table of contents. So it's my first program. Okay. And here it is some code. Okay. I'm not even writing any code now, just to tell you how this IDE works. Okay. Now, one more time, let's do this. Click on the text cell, hash, and say my second program, and click outside. There it went. So and then this table of content. So it's appearing much like a book. Okay. And I click the empty code cell here, one more cell. Okay. For sake of just writing something, I'll just say print welcome. Okay. Just a simple. So when I write some code, I click on this arrow and say run, it goes to give an output. So what just happened is the program which I wrote, print welcome, was processed by the server behind and then an output came back to the screen. Okay, so this is interactive, right? So that's why this is an interactive development environment. Okay, so this is Colab. So first and second are just, it's going to wrap the cell like that. But you see how each program, my first program, my second program, all of that can be written. Okay. Now, once you're done, you say file save. It is saving. What is it saving? It's saving this file. I've already named the file. It saved successfully. And then when you want to open, I just open notebook. It'll show you an interface like this, and each of your file names is there, and I click and it'll open the notebook. Okay, to go back. So this is an IDE. Every IDE has a learning curve. Basically, you have to do little hands-on on them to get familiarity. But think of it, it's like a book, chapters like that, and the topics are appearing in a very organized manner. And here I can go to any specific program by clicking here too. Okay, and if I close this, that will close the table of content, and each of my cell, that a markdown cell and a code cell are one below the other like that. Okay. So when you start off, probably it will not show up like this because I already named the file. I will show it to you once again. Let's start a new notebook. Okay. So I'm starting much like you'd start from the beginning. So you can see it opened up another. So this is how it will look for you. Even it will give an untitled 33. This means I can name the file. Okay, this is file name. I just keep ex for example or exercise like 0727. I just put a July and the day. Okay, so something like that, and the file is saved now. File is automatically saved in Google Drive. Okay, and here is a text cell. Go click on the text cell, put a hash, and say my first program, and click outside. It is appearing like a topic. Okay, and click on that. It arrows moved up, and then here is a code cell. I just write something, print hello world, which is a code. Okay, and then I run that arrow. I click on that arrow called hello world. Okay, so it ran, and this server just responded with the output. Okay, you save this file there. I can just click file save, Control S, or you can click on the file menu and save. It will save the program. One moment. You have any questions? Feel free to ask. Jesslyn, are you able to follow? Sriram?
Hello.
Yes, you're able to follow?
Yes, I have one question. For the video recorded last class, I wasn't able to find it.
Yes. Actually, we are starting the recording for this. We already are recording. Okay. So the last class content, I see. I will check that. Okay, I will check that. Whereas where we started from the introduction here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we are
And for for that video, where would I access it? Once you share it with me, where would I access it from?
So what you need to do is that skill anything, give your details. It will allow you to
Yes.
create a login.
Yes.
Once the login has come, you let me know. I will ask the administrator to link the login to this course. Okay, so then you can see the recordings.
Yeah, I've already logged in last Sunday. I've already logged in, so I have the login, and I can see all the live sessions and the courses, and it shows my login already, and I'm logged in already.
Okay, so under uh, that, then the admin has to link you to this course. So then you can see the self-paced recordings there. So yeah, you can share that username to me. Okay, it's
Okay.
your Gmail ID, is it?
Yes, it's my Gmail ID.
Uh, or send me the user ID and
Yeah, I'll send you the user. Yes.
I will work it out with the admin, and they will link your login to this course. Okay. So same way, Jesslyn, you also create your login in skillanything.com, giving the information there, like first name, last name, like that, and tell me the login. Once you're uh, finished, then we link the login to this program. So then the recording will be available. Okay. Any questions? Feel free to ask. Okay, so I will also ask you to share your session to see where you are. Okay, so now, so when you go, see here, when I say open notebook, I talk about this. All my files will be saved here in the notebook. Okay, and typically you'll see for the first time you might see like this. Welcome to Colab and all that. See like this. Okay, this is the Colab environment has some default notebooks for you. So it's having a welcome page like that, and the book is like this. It has examples for where Python is used in data sciences and advanced things. And yeah, it's the way it gets started, but here is the same sort of cells and the text cells and code cells. So you don't need to know anything more than that. Okay, but here they're taking as a model example with some concepts in data sciences and machine learning, which you see the topic is introduced like a textbook, and then the code is here, you can run directly like it's about a visualization, not to bother what it is, but it is an interactive environment. Okay, any questions? This is just a welcome, but when you open earlier, you can say new notebook and you can open a specific file. Okay. All right. So Jesslyn, is it clear? Any questions you have?
It's clear.
Okay. How about Jesslyn?
I don't think it doesn't show her in the
What
meeting.
happened?
I think she joined for like 2 minutes, but then it logged her out again. I believe.
It locked her out.
I believe so.
Oh, Jesslyn, what happened? You got locked out, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I have shown a collab screen with the link. It will go take you to another browser tab like that, like this. Can you get to this point and show your screen to me, just like,
Yes.
and Sriram as well. Both of you, I just want to make sure you're at this point.
Yes.
Once you're there, you can just put some file name like that, ex07 for July 27 for today's date. and hit enter. So it will just save the file in Colab. Okay, so if you have got to that point, can you share your screen?
It says host has to enable the
Hold
screen
on.
sharing option.
Okay, I'm giving control to Sriram. Okay, I think it's allowing you to control my screen. Wait. Just give me one. No. You are still operating on my screen. Hold on. Are you able to see this remote control icon? I
Yeah,
would like,
okay.
I'd like you to share your screen.
Yes, you have to just enable sharing, I believe. But when you do, it shows as
Wait.
I'm controlling your screen.
Sorry, here it is. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. So I've just checked that option. So now, Sriram, you can try sharing screen. Yeah. Your screen I can see. Yeah, this is fine. EX 0727 text cell and code cell is there. You can click on those cells. You can even first click on the connect there to the right. Yeah, connect. Yeah, it'll show a green tick once it's connected to the remote cell. Yeah, you can click on a text cell, go about clicking that text cell. Yeah, do hash on your keyboard, hash, just say my first program. Yeah, and click away into the code cell. Yeah. Yes. Now, yeah, correct. Just type in like print and open. Print, yeah, print doesn't have a space. Yeah, print double quote. Yeah, type something, hello world or something. Okay, just enter. And you have to just click on the arrow left of that cell on the left side. There's an arrow before the print, no? That click on that play. Yeah, that one. Yeah, there you go. The output is there. So yeah, you can continue to do similar for my second program and do a file save. Okay. So let me just check with Jesslyn. Yeah, you can stop sharing, Sriram.
Okay.
Yeah, Jesslyn. Yeah, can you share your...
Sir,
No. What is that? Sorry. You turned the video on, not the video. You can turn off the video. No need to turn the video on. Just go to the browser. You can open a browser.
what's
Okay.
so I don't get that code come for me.
Okay. It went to Colab. Do a file. Yeah. Do a file. What happened? She turned the video, so it dropped off.
Ajit sir, I think she got logged out again.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. So let her join again. Let me just try reaching her. Okay. Back. Jocelyn, please share your screen. Don't turn the video on. It sort of logged you off, I think, because of network. I can easily guide you. Don't worry. Just share your screen, much like Sriram did. Multiple
No,
parties.
sir, I am like Zoom meeting. I am doing it on my phone.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
because the network was too slow today. So I took it on my phone.
Okay. So you're taking on your phone, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but how would you? Okay, so that's why you turned the video on, is it? Uh, I saw that you are, or you can join through the URL on the browser. No problem. It's a stable connection.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, just go to the same link I shared at the beginning, and you can drop off from the phone. I mean, because I'm going to use the chat sometimes to share links like this. So I think you showed me the collab. It was welcome to collab, right? Just go to the file,
Yes, sir.
file menu
Ah,
and say,
so this portion I didn't get. The start coding,
huh.
the current tab which you are having, I'm not getting.
Yeah. So what I'll guide you through that, not a problem. See, let me share my screen once again. See, there is this in welcome to collab also, there is this file menu, right? File, new notebook in Drive. Okay. So if you just say new notebook, it will open a new tab altogether. So that welcome will be there in the background. You can close that. Okay, not a problem. So it will come to like this, file, new notebook in Drive.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, try sharing your screen on. You're not in the meeting, right? So the meeting link
No, I'm still on my phone.
on your phone.
That is, yeah.
So you want to switch to the browser on that, you can do so.
So it might take time.
Well, no, just I'll put the URL. Okay, you're on the phone, right? Okay.
Zoom meeting, I'm trying it on my phone.
Ah,
Connection is stable on my phone only.
on the phone only. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to turn the video on, but the moment you do that, it sort of takes bandwidth, and that's why. Okay. Are you able to click on the Google Colab tab, go to the file menu? So I'll have to just guide you like this. Go to the file menu. As you can see my screen. Okay, so let me share my screen. Yeah, file, new notebook in Drive.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Okay. So and try to rename. Just click on the top and rename the file.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Once you got, let's say, I'm going to create two cells again. Hash my first program. Hash my first program. These arrows can be moved up and down. Now you might see my screen is little having a dark background, like so. There is a setting here that the theme is dark. I repeat, I click on this gear icon. You can switch the theme to dark, and the whole screen is appearing with a dark background. Okay, just theme setting. So it will show up the same way what I'm sharing with you. Otherwise, it will show a white background and the text is white. So way you set the theme is go to this gear icon next to the user, choose the theme from the list of theme to dark. Yeah, once you set it, click outside. Okay. So similarly, I will create another code cell. Now I've got 2 code cells and 2 text cells. My first program, I can move this arrow up once again, and I can move it like that. First program, second program, like. And if you need the code for your print, let me the print welcome, right? I'll just put that. Okay, chat, it's not possible. Yeah. So like that. Sorry, here, right? Where is it? Here. It has a generate option. Start coding and welcome. Click on the arrow mark. It's fairly simple. Once you write the code, you have to click this arrow mark, you get the output. Okay. And then it saves by default. You'll see this green tick before the code cell. It means the program completed in so many seconds. Okay. Same here, 0 seconds. So it just ran completed. And then I can give it a name, ex0727 file save. So Jesslyn, can you show your screen one time after at this point you reach? And you have to open the earlier notebook. You can open notebook and all your files are there. They're all in the Google Drive. Okay. So that's when I say open, I can choose to open any file like that. So let's say I open it. It'll go to new tab here. So I'm opening an earlier file like that. Okay. Sriram, you are okay?
Yes, I'm fine, sir.
How about you, Jesslyn? Anything which needs?
That's fine. But the mark comes.
What is that? Sorry, your voice broke. Can you tell me?
So you show the tick mark, no, behind the code.
Correct.
There was a tick mark on that it ran in 0 section on.
On your voice is still not coming through. So I will show you. See, I'm writing something here. I pasted welcome. When I run it, it takes some time. It's connecting, initializing the compute engine, and then comes back. So once the output has come, yeah, it is a network, I believe, because even your voice is coming like stretched out through the chat. So are you seeing the green tick now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So so that's a code cell and that's the output. Okay. Now, so let's continue. So here is, So this is a collab, okay? This is how the collab cell is. And the collab notebook is having advanced features like for data science and machine learning, okay? That means this environment where the Python server is running and Python is as a software is installed on that server, you are accessing the environment with your login. But with that environment, many predefined utilities of Python are already available in this environment, especially for research purpose. So that's why it's collab.research.google.com. And as you can see in the welcome page is some machine learning example on a chart and all that. Most of that is data sciences domain. Okay. So it has got some advanced packages available in this environment. And so because Google and its compute engine is having so much of capability, we are able to use it with ease. Okay. Other IDEs are there from Jupyter, or much like Jupyter, you have Anaconda. It's another organization which has got a Python same like notebook, okay, much like it's an IDE for data science, okay, Python data science platform and everything you need to know out of the box. What happens and what's different here is when you get to data science, you will need some capabilities for statistical computing, okay, and those packages are available in such a software called Anaconda. Okay, Anaconda has a Spider IDE, and much like Jupyter Notebook, this is called Spider. Okay, for scientific Python development environment. So scientific Python development environment, the IDE looks like that. You can write the code. You have a text editor, which is like in different text colors and all that. So it's an IDE for writing Python code. Okay. I'm just introducing this for the sake of being aware. Okay. We will not be working on Spider. One IDE is enough. We'll be using Google Colab. Okay. So that's briefly about IDEs, or IDE is a tool for developing your programs, okay, or writing and running your programs, okay. So continuing on, we have a little bit more on the background. Python is a dynamic and interpreted language, okay. Dynamic and interpreted here means the code you write, as we saw, is in English and with some syntaxes, okay. But when you are writing such a program, take for instance C language or other programming languages, you will use some declaration of variables. Okay, you will say that age equal to 25, right? Something like that. So that means when you are saying age equal to 25, you are assigning a value to the variable age. But in other programming language, you will have to declare age is an integer. Okay. So when you're declaring, you're telling what a data type of that variable is. Okay. So data type means whether it's an integer or a string or a Boolean. These are some data types. Okay. So in Java or in C language, you will have to say int age. Okay, that means the variable I'm going to use is declared as an integer. Okay, first name is a string. Okay, you're declaring the type of the variable. So here in Python, there is no declaration of variables. So that means you don't have to declare age is an integer, name is a string, like so and so. You can directly say age equal to 25. So there goes declaration of variables out, you are no longer required to bother whether the kind of data type is string or Python will dynamically take the value. It can be a string, it can be a Boolean, it can be an integer or a float. All of these are dynamic. Okay, that means you go about doing your stuff. If you go about saying age is equal to 25, you go about saying is registered equal to true. Okay, so you assign the values without telling what data type the variable will stand for. So that is called dynamic. Okay, it is dynamic means the type of your values can be anything. No botheration without explicitly saying that this variable's age is an integer. No, age can be a string also. Okay, so when you're using variables, you're going about saying age is 25. The same age can be assigned to the word 25 in letters. Okay, so it can take dynamic assignments or dynamic, the declaration is not required. Dynamically you can assign anything. So all those botherations like errors, what you'll face, that in Java you'll face an error, oh, this data type is not proper. You'll not get all those errors here. Okay, very much a dynamic language. And when we say dynamic, that's what it means. And interpreted means there is a compiler. Meaning when you write a program, it's written like what you just mentioned here as print. This is written in English. Okay, the Python software has a compiler which will understand this commands, understand this words in English and process it. So that is called compiling. The processing done by the server or the Python software is called compiling. Compiling here means it will first start reading the lines of code. So let me open something else out here. So I've written some Python program which I want to explain. The point here is Python parses the lines of code. Here there are 12 lines of code. When a compiler means an engine which will process the program which you've written. How it will process? It will start, it will know that, okay, first line is this. It's going to read it, right? It's going to read and look for what? It's going to read and look for proper syntaxes. So this reading and looking for syntax is called parsing. Okay. And once it is, its reading is called parsing. And once it checks all these syntaxes are proper, the compiler might show an error. Okay. Compiler shows some error. So what does it do? It is compiling the program. Okay. Parsing and compiling. So it's simply called reading and compile. So that's the job of a compiler. In other programming languages, you will have to pass through the 1,000 lines of code, then build some machine level code which the compiler can run, which the machine can run. Okay, so after compiling is a run. Okay, so then here in Python, once that English lines of code is compiled, it will create a byte code. Okay, so byte code is nothing but if you open it's a generated file. Okay, for your program, the file which gets generated inside, it's called a byte code. It is a binary file. Much like if you open Word document, sometimes you will see some diamonds and shapes like that, like some special character. So that's how a byte code will look like. That byte code is machine interpreted, and machine is able to run that byte code. So here we call it compiling to byte code. But the point I want to make here is the Python program compiles line by line and interprets it. So that's called interpretation or interpreter. So in Python, you you have what's called an interpreter, which will dynamically interpret the lines of code. Whereas in other programming language, if you wrote a very large program, the entire program would be compiled until the last line. Okay, until let's say you wrote a 100 or even 200 line of code, the entire line of code would be compiled and stored as a new file. In Python, that doesn't happen. Line by line, it's like two leaders. One is in speaking in English, another is speaking, let's say, Japanese. There's a translator in the middle, an interpreter. The interpreter will just go about translating. When he said something, he'll translate to Japanese, and the Japanese guy says something, he'll translate to English. So he's doing dynamically translating, and that's how a compiler, in terms of Python, it's called an interpreter, and that's how an interpreter works. Okay, so Python is a dynamic and interpreted language. Okay, any questions? Is this clear? Okay. There is no declaration of variables. Yeah, there's no need to say age is integer. Okay, um, so you just go about assigning the value. So that's one thing. Type checking of value is done at runtime. So you might say, hey, if I pass some name, age as a string, it might error. No. At runtime only, it will check what is the data type of your variable, whether you stored a boolean in it, whether you stored an integer or a float or a number in it, okay, or a string in it. All this is checked at runtime only, not at compile. At the time of running, if there is some error in the value, it will show up an error. Okay, so object-oriented programming. Any of the modern software languages have this concept called object-oriented programming. We will look at it in detail. Simply put, um, everything is an object. Okay, every line of code has some object-oriented programming to it. That means the concept is new. Okay, we will look at it in greater detail. For now, you understand that Python follows the object-oriented programming paradigm. Okay, so and Python was founded by Guido van Rossum. Okay, Guido van Rossum is a Dutch programmer who found Python language, first released in 1991. Okay, so he is the developer who invented it. Okay, whereas the Python is managed today by a group of non-profit organization called Python Software Foundation. Now, what it is they're a group of open source developers, meaning nobody, anybody can contribute to the language, in fact. So open source, a bunch of developers who are busy trying to improve the language, the syntax, the structure, and all that. Okay, bringing new improvements to the language. The language, Python language has a version which also took an origin. Okay, so where you can see who is maintaining the Python program, it is Python Software Foundation. Now I'll show you the website. Just one moment. You go to python.org. Yeah, python.org is the website which is dedicated to the Python programming language. The Python Software Foundation is maintaining this as well. You can see more information of this software foundation, an organization devoted to advancing open source technology related to Python programming. So there is some bunch of contributors, and there are conferences and all that. Okay, and here is you have the first, if you go back here, you see this tab called downloads. So, I mean, of course, about you can read and all that, but downloads is where you can download the Python software. Okay, the software is got the compiler. It has got what's called the interpreter. In this case, interpreter, and when you write Python code, the interpreter is going to convert that to bytecode. Okay, so this is the latest version. So for Windows, it's Python 3.12.4. Our Google Colab at the background runs 3. An earlier version. Okay, the Colab is running an early version, but you can download this and install. Okay, however, we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so when you click download, it takes some time. It goes through the installation. Then what will happen is in your desktop, Python will be there. You can run Python programs from your notepad, I mean, like that from the desktop itself. Okay, so that is the way you would traditionally do it, but let's not get into that at the moment because we can focus on learning the language by going straight to the IDE. Okay, not bother about any installation. So then there are other, the Python community is there, the mailing list is there, so many other documentations, all that is available in this website. Even they posted on searching packages, the community, job opportunities, all of that are there. So this is an open source software site. Django is another one. Okay, we'll come to. I mean, Django is another platform. Specifically, it's like a um, um, it's a development framework. Okay, there is a language, and then to build web application, you have what's called an application development framework. So the application development framework, one such framework is called Django. Now, what is a framework, right? We will look at all that later, but simply put, a framework allows you to build something easily. Okay, that means certain uh, formats, some constructs are available readily so that you don't build anything from scratch. So framework is much like if you start building, uh, uh, let's say you are asked to build a building, right? Okay, so then you got, yeah, I'll introduce you to some vocabulary. Do you see what I am showing you on screen? You see this?
Yes.
Yeah, you see this sort of, what does this do? It's a ladder, it's readily there. Somebody can climb up and stand there very easily. You're not, I mean, when you're building the building out there, you will see this sort of pipes and tubes outside. This is called scaffolding. Okay, so that's a new word for you. Scaffolding is a temporary structure which is just put around the building which you want to build. Okay, so its purpose is that it's going to easily allow you to build a structure, right? So a framework can be thought of like this. Okay, so something which allows you to readily get to do what you want. So in terms of web development, Django is one such framework, okay, which allows you to build web application. Okay, so just that much is sufficient for now. We'll come to, we have a topic down the course called Application Development Frameworks, where I will be introducing to another simpler framework called Flask. Okay, so Flask and Django are Python-based frameworks. Okay, what they do, they allow you to build your web application pretty easily. Okay, so is that clear to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's move on. So that's the website we went in, first developed by this guy who's a Dutch programmer. Currently, so he, yeah, we will not go into details. So let's carry on, this is some amount of reason why you can continue to learn Python. Right from 2021, Python is one of the most consistently downloaded software programming languages, under the top 5 spot in the Stack Overflow. These are some surveys in the market for programming languages. So the most in-demand programming languages, which are the ones like JavaScript, Python, HTML, in that order. Okay, so there is some ranking by these folks. This is Berkeley University. So for the last 5 years, at least in the top 5 consistent spot, they have been in Python has been in the list of programming languages to learn. Okay, of course, other programming languages like Java, SQL are there. Go is also getting popular rapidly. Okay, and here is Stack Overflow is basically a community for software developers who hit errors. Okay, so if you see there, a lot of errors get resolved by some other experienced developer and so on. So if you see JavaScript, Python is consistently ranked on the top among the most commonly used, loved, and wanted programming languages. Okay, so other C, C++ are there below. So just a little bit of a language rank for you. Okay, here is Python IDEs. There's nothing a caterpillar that's telling you it's going to be a butterfly. Okay, this is one of a interesting quote. Yeah, so at that stage there is nothing, but later it becomes a beautiful butterfly. Okay, very okay. We saw IDEs. We saw some introduction to Python language. Okay. All right then. Thank you. Have a good day. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.